Hi there, my name is Kendrick, and in this video, I'm going to share with you my experience traveling to my country number 103, and this country is Georgia. So during my second one-year trip around the world, I never had any plans to go to Georgia actually. However, when I was in Poland, the immigration officer said I couldn't stay and I had to leave the country after a certain amount of dates. So I was panicking because I had originally planned to stay 2 months in Poland between fall and winter. So that kind of took me off guard when they said I can't stay. I had a feeling that the immigration officer might have been wrong and I'm actually allowed to stay longer, but I didn't want to argue because obviously the guy didn't want to talk to me about it when I landed in Warsaw. Anyways, long story short, the cheapest flight that I found out of Poland and then back to Poland again was actually to Georgia, and it cost about $450 Canadian round trip to fly in and out of this country. So anyways, I just bit the bullet and I ended up flying to the city of Kutaisi, which I never heard of before. It's in Georgia, and I get there and first impression is the people in the immigration are quite grumpy, and I think in general on the surface a lot of Georgian people look kind of grumpy. However, this phenomenon is actually just temporary because a lot of them, once I get a chance to talk to them, they're actually really nice. So they're just grumpy at first, but they are actually friendly once they get a chance to warm up to you. So I took a taxi from the airport. I think it cost about $20 Canadian to go from the airport all the way to my hostel. I stayed in this hostel that was super dirt cheap. It was like $17 Canadian, I think, for 2 nights. It was something ridiculous like that. And I was so exhausted because my flight to Georgia was like at 3 a.m. So I actually just spent the whole day sleeping when I arrived there. There was some local food available nearby, but I would actually tell you a lot of the food in Georgia are actually very unhealthy. I actually felt horrible eating at the local place that I ate when I was there. So while staying at this hostel, which was called Dorm Kutaisi, I did get a chance to meet with some other travelers. So I met this Russian lady. She was chatting with me. She didn't speak any English, so we had to communicate via Google Translate. And then I also met this other woman from the Netherlands who I ended up having a debate about governments and whatnot. And she was a little bit of a strange individual because she would spend hours fighting in the market to save 50 cents, which I thought was quite weird because when we were in the hostel, she was telling me that she made a lot of money working in a marketing firm back in the Netherlands, and she's been traveling for 3 years nonstop. So I think some people are just really obsessed with frugality, and it's a little bit off-putting in my opinion. And I think travelers who are obsessed with counting the smallest amount of money to save every penny is kind of pathetic. That's just my opinion. I'm definitely not for budget traveling anymore. And even when I was a budget traveler, I did not count pennies like this. This is pretty sad. And I know what some people are going to say. It's the principle. You can shove your principle because that is just pathetic. Pathetic. You're a pathetic person. After spending 2 days in this hostel, I did move to a hotel and I stayed in this hotel, I think for 5 nights. It was called Hotel Traveler. And the funny thing was I was the only person in this entire hotel. They even gave me the key to the hotel itself and they asked me to lock it up when I am not inside, which was quite ironic. I did hang out with that Dutch woman again from the hostel. We met up in the city center and we ate some shawarma, and the shawarma place was so good. I wish I could tell you the name, but it was in local Georgian and I have no idea. But I actually ended up eating here every day for the next 5 days because it was so good. Just like their shawarma with the tea, it was perfection. It was so good. My accommodation was okay. However, after the first night, there was a swarm of insects in my room, which was a little bit off-putting. They kind of looked like cockroaches, but I spoke with the receptionist in the hotel and he said that they're not cockroaches, they're something else. So they moved me to a different room, and a different room was a lot better. There was no insect infestation until my last day there when all these freaking insects came back and started swarming the room, and I ended up spending a lot of time just fighting these insects. I also got a chance to walk around the market just to check it out. Also checked out a few of the stores in Georgia. Also ate some local McDonald's in Georgia. It was pretty expensive. Also ate some Wendy's. The McDonald's in Georgia is not good. It's terrible. The Wendy's is pretty good though. I didn't have any goals of exploring Georgia as a tourist. I'm actually not in the phase of going sightseeing anymore. I was just there kind of living like a local while I was stranded, trying to figure out a way to go back to Poland. When I did speak with the Polish immigration on my way out of Poland, they did say that I was able to return after just 5 days of leaving Poland. So the Warsaw immigration officer was completely wrong, and the one in Wrocław, the city I was staying in, was correct. So before long, I was able to head back to the airport, and the airport in Georgia was a little bit chaotic, to be perfectly honest. People there are not friendly, and there was not much information on when to board your flight. But eventually, I did follow this horde of people, and I was able to catch my flight back to Poland. And as of making this video right now, I am in Wrocław. Would I ever go back to Georgia again? I would definitely entertain the idea because I didn't get a chance to see Tbilisi, which is the capital city of the country, and there's definitely a lot of nice mountains to explore. So I wouldn't be opposed to going back here again, but it wouldn't be the top of my bucket list to explore just because it was a little bit rough traveling to Georgia. It was definitely not the easiest country to travel to, even though it definitely has a lot of potential. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.